All right, let's dive into this explainer on Luke chapter 7. This is just such a powerful part of the scripture, packed with these incredible encounters that really show us what true faith looks like. We're kicking things off with this powerful statement from Jesus himself. This one line just sets the entire stage and makes you ask a really important question. So what is this kind of faith? You know, the kind that literally stops Jesus in his tracks and makes him marvel? Well, this chapter gives us not just one, but three really distinct and amazing answers. So first up, our first encounter is with a Roman soldier. Probably not the person you'd expect, right? But this man shows an incredible, almost breathtaking understanding of divine power. Okay, so here's the scene. You've got this centurion, a guy with some serious military clout, but he's in the middle of a personal crisis. His servant, someone he cares for deeply, is about to die. But look at his humility. He doesn't just march up and demand Jesus come. In fact, he feels so unworthy he sends other people to ask for him, thinking his own house isn't even good enough for Jesus to step into. Now this is where it gets really fascinating. Listen to his logic. He's basically saying, look, I understand how authority works. I tell a soldier to go and he goes. I recognize that you operate with that same kind of authority, but on a divine level, over sickness itself. You don't even need to be here, physically. Just say the word. And that's the real kicker here. The centurion's faith wasn't about needing to see a miracle with his own eyes. It was about recognizing who Jesus is. He understood that Jesus' authority was absolute, not limited by things like distance or space. That is the kind of faith that amazed Jesus. So that's a powerful example of recognizing authority. Now we're going to see that authority in action in a totally different way. We're moving to the city of Nain, where we witness something that's just, wow. It's an incredible act of compassion and power over life and death itself. The scene just completely changes. We go from that moment of incredible faith to a funeral procession. And this isn't just a sad moment. You have to understand, for a widow back then, losing her only son was an absolute catastrophe. She'd already lost her husband, and now her only hope for the future is gone. It is a picture of total, complete hopelessness. And what's so beautiful is the first thing the scripture tells us. Before Jesus does anything, he feels something. It says he had compassion on her. He doesn't just see a problem to fix, he feels her pain. And it's from that place of compassion that he acts with this stunning authority. He literally stops the funeral and speaks to a dead man. I mean, this moment is just huge. It shows that his incredible power isn't just raw, detached power. No, it's guided by a deep, personal compassion for people who are hurting. For everyone watching, this wasn't just some magic trick. It was a revelation. He showed them that he is Lord over life and death, and that has to inspire some serious faith. All right, now we get to the final encounter in this chapter, and wow, this one takes place during a dinner, and it really brings everything home with the most powerful contrast you can imagine. This really gets to the heart of it all. Try to picture this, right? Jesus is at a formal dinner hosted by a very respected religious leader, a Pharisee. And then, out of nowhere, a woman with let's say, a reputation walks right in, uninvited. The tension in that room must have been off the charts. But she doesn't care. She goes straight to Jesus and begins this messy, emotional, extravagant act of worship. And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. Look at the difference. Simon, the religious guy, he's so sure of his own goodness. He offers Jesus the bare minimum of hospitality. He's polite, but he's distant. He's totally blind to his own spiritual need. But this woman, she knows she's broken, and she holds nothing back. Her tears, her hair, her expensive perfume, she gives it all. That's the difference between cold religion and a heart that's been broken and remade by grace. Now, Jesus says something here that's truly revolutionary, and it's really easy to get this part backward. He's not saying, you're forgiven because you loved me so much. No, he's saying her incredible love is the proof, the result of being forgiven of so much. Because she understood just how deep her sin was, she could finally understand how much deeper his grace was. And right here, this is the line that ties the whole chapter together. Jesus looks right past all the outward stuff, the tears, the perfume, and gets to the absolute heart of it. It was her faith. Her faith is what connected her to God's forgiveness, and that forgiveness is what unleashed this flood of love and peace in her life. So what do we do with all this? I mean, these are great stories, but this chapter isn't just history. It's a living, breathing invitation to you and to me, right here, right now. And if you look at the pattern in these stories, it gives us a really clear roadmap. It's a practical path. Just like the centurion and the woman, it all starts when we acknowledge our own need. Then we trust in his authority to meet that need. We receive his forgiveness, not by earning it, but just by faith. And what's the natural result of all that? A life of love, just poured out in gratitude. So at the end of the day, this whole chapter really boils down to one provocative question for each of us. Are we going to be like Simon, so focused on our own religious rules and the sins of other people that we're blind to our own deep need for grace? Or are we going to be like that woman and just come to Jesus exactly as we are, brokenness and all, and let the reality of his forgiveness change us from the inside out? This explainer was based on material from the You Need Faith in Jesus team.